Well, earlier today I had the opportunity of speaking to Conservative Rosie Holt, hoping to retain her seat as MP for Eckernford West, about her new book, Why We Were Right. Yes, you heard that correctly. I began by asking her the most obvious question. Where do I even start with this bollocks? You make excuses for Boris Johnson's oven-ready Brexit deal, saying he never said how long it would need to be in the oven for. You suggest whilst there may not be any concrete examples of the positive impact of Brexit, just feeling it was right is an achievement. And at one point you even say, Brexit means Brexit, and by Brexit I mean Brexit, and that is what Brexit is. It is Brexit. What the hell does that even mean?
Well, Peter, I think you've answered your own question. You say, what the hell does it even mean? Well, you've just said it. Brexit means Brexit, and that is Brexit. And actually, for you to say it's bollocks is quite rude, actually. It's not bollocks, it's Brexit. It's oven-ready Brexit. Labour don't criticise Brexit, do they? No, and that's because it's been it's been a success.
You appear to be suggesting in your book that Liz Truss may in fact never have been Prime Minister, that people in Google claim she was, but maybe it was just a phenomenon where huge numbers of the population have just misremembered or share a memory of an event that never occurred. Are you being serious?
You have to understand, Peter, that the period where Liz Truss was supposedly Prime Minister, I was away on holiday, I was away on annual leave, I had a news blackout, and when I came back, my colleagues didn't want to talk about it, and we've seen ourselves, I mean, the Prime Minister never mentions it, never talks about it about his predecessor, and I think, well, why would he do that if it supposedly happened? There is an effect, a Mandela effect, where a whole group of people can incorrectly remember something that didn't happen. And I really think that's what happened here. I don't think Liz Truss was Prime Minister. I don't think she blew up the economy. I think if we should be looking at anyone, it should be at the Financial Times and trans activists.
Okay, let's move on to the NHS. Now, again, maybe I'm missing something here, but in the section on why you say the government was right not to give the NHS the money it needs, as far as I can tell, it's just 4 pages of you saying you love nurses. We all love nurses, but I can't see in what way that explains why you haven't given the NHS the money it needs.
Well, thank you, Peter, for bringing that up, because I do love nurses. I'm so glad to hear that you do too. As far as giving them the money they need, well, we do give them the money they need, just not perhaps what they want. And if you look at what people have called a decade of underfunding and cuts to the NHS, we call putting the NHS on a diet. When someone goes off a diet, you don't want to let them binge eat, do you? So that's why we have to sort of, gently approach the NHS when it comes to giving them money.
Now, you say in your book the term trickle-down economics has been relentlessly mischaracterised by the left, that it's not so much trickling down, but in your words, like watering a whole garden just selectively as people don't usually water the weeds. You say you're not comparing the working class to weeds, but then say they don't help the flowers grow and talk about pruning them back. So exactly what are you saying here?
Peter, that's just an analogy. It's just a fun analogy. And what I am saying is a bit like how I was talking about how we put the NHS on a diet. Well, austerity, it was like a diet for the country, and in particular the working class, because their diet's a bit bad. That's an analogy. But listen, you can read all my analogies in my book, Why We Were Right. Peter, it sounds like you need to read yours again, because I don't think you quite understood. But I would say to your listeners, really important, vote Tory July the 4th. We've got a plan. It's working. Follow the plan. And if you don't understand the plan, maybe read this book.
That was Rosie Holt. Next on Soft Talk.